We're here to talk about Hearthstone. So, you ready, Mike?
Yes.
Okay, let's get. Everybody, look very serious. Are you serious? No. Ow! God damn it!
What'd you do?
Pinball waits through 10 bits for serious faces only.
Oh.
Ow! Jam! Hello, everyone, and welcome to Hearthstone. I'm Chewie. That's Mike. And we're here to talk about... I already forgot. Year of the Mammoth.
Yes.
Yes, Year of the Raven was the first one, right? There've only been the two thus far?
Year of the Kraken.
Kraken. Then Raven? Oh, no, Raven we're in now.
Yeah, Raven we're about to start.
No,
Raven.
Dragon we're about to start.
Wait a minute.
We're in Mammoth now. Okay, so it's technically the stuff from Year of the Raven. Aha!
Okay.
This is very confusing the way they do this. So,
Should we start over?
the cards... Maybe. The cards from, I think, Year of the Raven are the ones that are rotating. We didn't put any thought into this part of this video / stream. Can you tell? Mammoth was on Goro. So what? Are we in Raven now? There is a Raven.
Doesn't it tell you, like, go to just click on play?
Oh yeah, wait. Click on play. Hang
Right
on, we'll find out.
It should be right up there where our faces
Where
are
our
currently
faces are. So you
covering
can't
it
see.
up. So we'll just lie and say whatever makes us look smart.
Yeah, this is totally. Oh no, there it is.
Oh,
yeah.
you can see it now.
Okay,
Okay.
so we're in Year of the Raven right now. So I was right. It is Goodbye Year of the Mammoth. Okay. Yes, I was right the first time. Ow, jam! Hello, everyone, and welcome to Hearthstone. I'm Chewie. That's Mike. And we're here to bid a fond farewell to the Year of the Mammoth cards that are about to rotate out of Standard. We are recording this on the 31st.
Right.
Which means in 9 days from right now, the new rotation happens. We enter the Year of the Dragon. Ooh. And we lose Journey to Ungoro, Knights of the Frozen Throne, Kobolds and Catacombs.
Right.
Those are all dropping out of Hearthstone Standard. And so, because there are a lot of really good cards and really iconic cards that are leaving Standard, I thought we would do basically a, hey, look what's not in Standard anymore video stream. Because, hey, we're streaming this live on twitch.tv/themanapool, where you totally could have been watching live. So, shall we, Mike?
Yes, let's shall.
So, we're going to start with the neutral cards, because this is really the baseline for stuff. So, let's start with Journey to Ungoro. I had a list.
Oh, okay. You already made notes. Good.
Not really notes, but just so we don't miss anything. So,
right, yeah.
So here we go. Starting with the neutral cards, right off the bat, there are some big ones on this page. Firefly.
Oh boy, very big.
Firefly has been the go-to one-drop basically since it was revealed.
Yeah.
Because it's a 1-mana 1/2, which is good, and it gives you a follow-up play, which is good. Like, there's just no way around it. This is so iconic for aggro decks, for control decks, for mid-range decks. It's everywhere. It's in all the things all the time, forever and ever I'm in.
And for the elemental decks where you want to sequence stuff, it gives you a good 1-drop, and then it gives you another card for late in the game to make sure you get your sequence right.
Yeah, so you can activate all those cards that say if you played an elemental last turn, which we'll get to plenty of those in just a few minutes. But also for cards that or for decks that want to have cards in hand.
Yes.
Like anything playing a mountain giant, essentially. Firefly gave you a 1-drop without costing hand size, which was huge. So yeah, Firefly is... Losing Firefly means that the 1-drop slot just got weird. Because it's gone now. Or it will be, very soon. So... Yeah, hats off for a minute to Firefly, because it was probably, if not the most played card in this standard, it was damn
It's
near.
got to be.
Yeah.
Like, there's one other I can think of that might have been, and we'll definitely be talking about it.
Yep. So, also, Glacial Shard is another big one that's going away.
Mm-hmm.
Useful for all the elemental synergies, and also for the battle cry of not only the "Oh God, don't kill me," but especially in Shaman decks with Shudderwalk, it's just killer.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and I've just been informed that all of the Whizbang decks have Firefly.
Huh.
Which I didn't know it was all of them. But enough of them, even if it's not all of them. So that's important. That's how iconic Firefly is. Yeah, Glacial Shard is just really good in the decks that want Glacial Shard. It's brutal.
Yeah.
And no one else plays it, so...
Mm-hmm.
Galaka Crawler used to be our, oh god, the pirates are too strong.
Yeah. So I thought that was a basic card for some reason. Or a classic card, I guess.
No, the one that eats Murlocs is...
right,
Murlocs.
Yeah.
Yeah, this 2-mana 3/4 here, because at the time when this was played, it was always a 2-mana 3/4 because the pirates ruled the
Pirate
world.
Warrior, uh-huh.
And Pirate Rogue.
And Pirate Rogue, yeah.
Yeah, those two especially. Everything else is sort of whatever and sort of situational. So since we have so many cards to talk about, let's just move on. Right?
Yes.
Yeah. All right, Devilsaur Egg is a huge one.
Ah, jeez.
Because of all the Death Rattle decks running around, especially here lately. Most notably Hunter, but I've seen this in Rogue and Priest in the past too.
Mm-hmm.
So this going away is essentially an entire archetype just dead in Hunter, which we'll get to that once we get to Hunter. You know, before we keep going, there are some big things that are just obviously leaving. And that's the big legendary cycles in each one.
Right.
In Journey to Un'Goro, the quests. The quests are all rotating. So, what are the ones that are currently seeing play? There's Quest Warrior is still around.
Right.
Quest Priest is still around every once in a while.
Priest.
Quest Rogue is actually still a thing occasionally.
Really?
Yeah, it's resilient. I think that's pretty much it in Standard right now.
Every once in a while I get matched up against a Warlock, but it's rare.
Okay. And I saw a Quest Mage not long ago.
Oh, really?
But they never got a tick on it, so I don't know what that was all about. But so the quests are huge. Yeah, Mike still plays Quest Druid, but he's Mike. From Knights of the Frozen Throne, the Death Knights are going away.
Yes.
Which are, I think, the biggest thing.
They are. Mm-hmm.
By far in this rotation. So let's hit those real quick just because. We've got... Nope.
You're still in Un'Goro.
Oh, I'm still in Un'Goro, duh. So yeah, Malfurion is still totally huge in lots of different Druid decks.
Yeah.
Rexar is, of course, the biggest thing ever. Rexar is part of what makes Hunter decks work these days. Is you get an early advantage, you use Rexar's Battle Cry to clear the board, and then you start generating infinite value with his hero power.
Mm-hmm.
Jaina is what makes mage decks viable these days. Because whether you're running elementals or not, it doesn't matter. Her hero power makes water elementals.
Yeah.
So she's just there to clean out games. And without her, mage is going to hurt.
It's going to be rough for a while.
Like this one and this one are the two huge ones as far as the current meta. Uther going away means that some of the insta-win Uther hero power decks aren't a thing anymore. But they've still got Shirvala, and most of those decks run both of those win conditions these days anyway. So, sure, that's fine. Priest actually is another huge one. Shadow Reaper Anduin with its Shadow Word Death on the entire board and its combo power. Because with two Mind Blasts, you've got 16 damage from hand with 2 mana left over. No, wait, that is 5. That is 10. So never mind. But still, 16 damage from hand with only 2 drops in your hand is kind of sick. So this is going to be the third most impactful one, I think. Valera hasn't seen huge play, but the decks that want to have Valera really want to have Valera.
Yeah, it's really important for them.
Yeah, because for the most part, Valera starts as a fog. You know, don't attack me, you can't attack me, neener. And then you get the hero power to start doubling up on things and generating value. Thrall, poor Thrall hasn't seen much play recently, and hasn't seen much play overall. I think of all of these, he's probably the lowest played one.
Yeah, and I'm sure for the most recent period of time, it was because he cost an odd amount of mana, and even Shaman is ridiculous. So
yeah,
that's what he had going against him for a while.
But these days,
I forgot about Thrall. I really loved playing with him. I should have started playing with him again.
Hey, you got 9 days?
I do.
Yeah.
You're right.
But these days, there's no room for him in the Shaman decks that are running around right now. They're all Elemental or Shutterwalk or both, for the most part. Except for that one Dragon Shaman I've seen running around that makes my head hurt.
Will Shutterwalk copy that battle cry?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. That's fine.
Also, Hagatha is one of the main reasons no one's played Thrall, because once you get Hagatha, you don't ever want to play Thrall. And why run the risk of having a dead card that would replace your Hagatha when you can just not run him? So that Warlock, I guess, is the other big one. I don't believe I forgot. But losing Gul'dan isn't going to hurt as much because of the cards that are rotating. Like, Voidlord is being rotated. Doomguard is being Hall of Famed. There's no reason to play Gul'dan anymore, really. But it does lose the Warlock hero power, or the Gul'dan hero power, which is just stupid. So that's going to hurt, but it'll be good to see Warlock doing other things for a while. And then Warrior, poor Garrosh, has only seen Fringe play more than Thrall, but still not a lot. So yeah. And the other big cycle is the legendary weapons.
But even then, only Rock Dalar actually matters. I mean, yeah, the World Tree is in some of those stupid combo decks.
Yeah, the Twig is big for the combo decks. Roque Dalar hasn't mattered for a while. I haven't seen that much.
Oh, yeah?
Spell Hunter, at least not with any regularity lately. Aluneth was big, but not anymore. What was this one? I don't even have this one.
It's
Valinir.
Yeah, it buffs something in your hand and blah blah blah.
Yeah, this one is still seeing a good amount of play in those type of decks, but they're less common now than they were. Dragon Soul never saw that much play. Kingsbane died with a bunch of recent nerfs. Nerfs. This one just never saw much play, except in like meme decks.
Yeah, because it's just kind of silly.
Yeah, the skull is important.
Sorry. I forgot that the skull was...
Yeah, the skull was important for a long time because of the Possessed Lackey and Dark Pact and things like that drop out a Doomguard or a Voidlord or something for free. But even that's fallen off recently.
Yeah, because it has an odd mana cost.
Yeah. And then Woke-Lever was a thing for a little while at the beginning of its meta, but it fell off pretty quickly. So yeah, those are the big cycles that are going away. Just go ahead and get those out of the way first, because they're the elephant in the room. But okay, so back to Ungoro. Gluttonous Ooze going away is huge, because it was weapon removal and life gain. Not really... What's going on here? Oh, I'm in crafting.
Yeah, you're in crafting mode, so you can see everything.
Gluttonous Ooze, although with odd decks not being a thing anymore, because Gen and Baku are getting Hall of Famed a year early, Gluttonous Ooze is less important because we still have Acidic Swamp Ooze.
Right.
So the life gain is whatever.
Mm-hmm.
These are whatever. Here are the two big ones. Stonehill Defender going away means that any deck that wants to slow things down and get another taunt to help slow things down even further, no. And then Tar Creeper is the quintessential taunt creature right now. Because Sinjin Shieldmaster is really good when it only costs 3. So these right here mean that, like I said, decks that want to just say, whoa, 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 slow down, I want to do things my way, are taking a big hit.
Yeah. They're going to look a lot different from here on out, depending on what's in the next set.
Yeah. Hopefully there will be some sort of 3-mana taunt that's decent. Maybe not this good, but decent enough to replace these in those decks.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, we got the Vicious Fledgling, the Flappy Bird, the card, as was just said in chat, the card that was so good it got Innervate nerfed. Granted, Innervate needed to be nerfed anyway, but Flappy Bird was like, hey, by the way, turn 1. So I think, yeah, these 3 are right here. These 2 especially, but Flappy Bird defined a meta for a while.
If you didn't have a way to kill an early Vicious Fledgling, then
you literally just lost.
Then you needed to rebuild your deck.
Yeah. And put in Tar Creepers.
Hey, yeah.
Fire Plume Phoenix is another one that's big in elemental decks. The Gentle Megasaur was big for Murloc decks when they were a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Bright-Eyed Scout even saw some play in Kibler decks.
Oh.
Yeah, getting a Jaina off of Bright-Eyed Scout is the best thing ever.
Yeah, it must be nice.
Unless you're the opponent, in which case it's the worst thing ever. But we already talked about that longer than was necessary. Spirit Singer Umbra was another Death Rattle card that led to horrible busted combos. Not the kind of kill you instantly combos, but the kind of combos that make you wish you were dead.
Yeah.
Like Cube of Void Lord suddenly full board of everything. Ha 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 ha. Buh. Let's see. Stone Shaper. The Total Stone Shaper was a big thing in elemental decks. Bittertide Hydra, most notably for coming off of Rexar's Hero Power.
Yeah, gosh. I couldn't stand that when a Hydra mashed together with something would pop out of that.
Especially Charge.
Uh-huh.
And then the bane of decks that were trying to win in Fatigue on the other side. Decks that were trying to win in Fatigue loved it, and when you played one, they went, oh, come on! At least the Trailblazer, who put a card in your deck, which was super important for Fatigue matches, but also gave you a pack, which gave you just more value.
Yeah, and in order to make her kind of play worthwhile, the pack is always kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, it's weighted heavily towards getting legendaries. I remember one specific game where a dude got a pack, got an Elise off the pack.
That's happened against me before too.
Played the pack. I think they got a copy of it with like Primordial Glyph or something.
Uh-huh.
Played the pack. Got an Elise out of that pack. I got another release out of another pack later, and I'm just going...
It would have had to have been Shadow something. You can't use Primordial...
Sorry, Shadow Visions.
Yeah,
that's the
Shadow
card.
Visions.
Yeah. Excuse me, wrong. I had the right art in my head. Wrong name. So yeah, Elise, and not only all of that, but Elise is just fun.
Mm-hmm.
So losing her is kind of rough. But, yep. Nesting Rock was good for Rexar's Hero Power. Servant of Kalamos was a sometimes include for elemental decks, just to get further value.
Yeah.
Hemet was ridiculous for combo decks that really wanted to empty their board, especially once Mecha'thun showed up.
Mm-hmm.
He just saw way more play. So good riddance to him. Blaze Caller is one of the main reasons to play an elemental deck. So with Blaze Caller gone, I think elemental decks are pretty much gone with him.
Yeah, there aren't any good rewards left.
Yeah. Charge Devilsaur was a big ass chargy beast in Death Rattle Hunter decks and Recruit Hunter decks, and Death Rattle Recruit Hunter decks. They're pretty much the same thing now. And then Primordial Drake was another of those late game cards. Board clear, giant taunt. You sit over there and shut up while I finish doing what I want to do. So yeah, and then your Giant Mastodon and your Ultrasaur are two of the big options to get off of generate a creature.
Yeah, make a beast. Or make something that costs X, yeah.
Yeah, like Spiteful Summoner. These two we're seeing a lot, or this one anyway. And, sorry, this one. What's the new one? Astromancer.
Astromancer.
Yeah, these two, well, I don't think it's possible to get an Ultrasaur, but Giant Mastodon is one of those you get off a 9, you're like, yeah! Because it's a giant taunt. But as individual cards to put in decks, not really. So, let's move to the Frozen Throne, where Snow Flipper... No. I don't even know how you say this.
Acarus Veteran?
Maybe.
That's what I say.
But the Veteran... It was huge for aggro decks because it's a 2/1 that gives a permanent +1 attack, so it helps clear things or hit in the face harder. Keleseth, though, is a big one. We're losing all 3 princes. Princes who adore you. That's what I said now. No, wait, sorry, that's only 2 princes. But Keleseth is the main one. And, yeah, he... Essentially, Keleseth alone meant that all aggro decks didn't play any 2-drops because Keleseth's value by himself, if drawn early enough, was worth not having 2-drops. So you just doubled up on 1s and 3s and played Keleseth instead, and you were good. And, like, Keleseth got so bad that people just hated a turn 2 Keleseth so much. Like, I remember... all of the big players saying it's that every deck that played Keleseth was a high roll deck because if they got Keleseth on 1 or 2, then you might as well scoop. And I'm like, I don't know if it's that bad, but
it can be tough to come back from sometimes. But it's not impossible, but it's really difficult.
Yeah. Moving on, the Jakari Enchanter let silly things happen when played with. Like Master Oakheart, because it would pop out along with Dragon Hatcher, which we'll get to in a few. Happy Ghoul was the main impetus behind the Healy Zoo deck in Warlock, because getting 1 or 2 3/3s for free in a Zoo deck is really hard to come back from without an opposing board sweeper. And so since Warlock is constantly taking damage from itself, from its creatures and its hero power, you just play some Healy creatures, heal your face, play Happy Ghoul, bam, generate infinite tempo. It was amazing. Yep. Arthas! He's a good boy.
I love that card.
I do too. It was always a shame that he didn't see that much competitive play, but he did pop out of Rexar's hero power occasionally and just wreck things. Corpse Taker is another big one, because the Corpse Taker package has been a thing you could just drop into decks that had other stuff going on.
It's really neat.
You put in Corpse Taker and some Divine Shield minions and some Lifesteal minions. And even a lot of decks were splashing like 1 of the 4/5 with Wind Fury, just to give the Corpse Taker Wind Fury. So... that's going away, so the entire Corpse Taker package is going away. Well, the rest of this is just crap, isn't it? Alright. Valinor was big for a minute. Serenite Chain Gang. Used to be more important, and then it got nerfed. But it's still another of those quintessential early taunts, please don't kill me.
Yeah, the nerfing affected it most in most
Shutterwalk.
for Shutterwalk.
Yeah.
It affected it a little bit in decks that had Keleseth.
Right.
Warlock, and I can't remember which order the cards came out, but the hand pump stuff that Warlock started to get most recently wouldn't really work with it anymore.
Yeah, the nerf stopped all of that. But it's still, just as 2/2/3s with taunt for 4, it's still a perfectly fine card.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
And so we're losing that, which is a shame. Ticking Abomination, thank God, means that Mechathune Priest decks need to work harder. This was one of the key cards in the combo.
Yeah.
Cobalt Scalebane has fallen out of favor recently, but the fact that it was a dragon and 5/5 is no laughing matter, and just threw around +3 attack every turn. This thing used to be huge. Not huge size-wise, but huge in when it was played. Like I said, it's not seeing as much play here lately. Like, I've got 2 different decks that run dragons, I think, and neither of them plays a Scalebane. But still. Bone Drake is also another dragon thing that was pretty good in its day.
Bone Drake's just good by itself, even without any dragon theme or support.
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Okay. Nerubian Unraveler is more recent tech.
Oh, yeah?
Against, I don't remember what. I never actually ran into anyone playing it, but I know that in tournaments, Nerubian Unraveler is occasionally teched in against decks, probably Druid, to keep them from casting UI.
Maybe.
But Skulking Geist was a sideboard superstar forever, a tech choice, especially back in the days of the Jade Idol. But even more recently, it gets rid of Playdeads, it gets rid of Arcane Shots, Naturalize, but it's not as necessary these days as it was a couple sets ago. Bone Mare was huge in its day, then it got nerfed, and really only Evenlock still plays it. Evenlock plays the hell out of it, though. I love my Bone Mare in my Evenlock deck. And then the Lich King. Oh god, the Lich King going away.
The Lich King. I love putting the Lich King in decks.
You remember when Ragnaros was an 8-mana 8/8 that just every deck that wanted to go long just played because it was a neutral minion that was all upside?
Yeah.
Well, Ragnaros went away, but we got Lich King. And he just slotted nicely. He's like, thank you. And he just took that spot. And any deck that's not odd, that wants to go into the late game and have a big finisher to generate value, is playing the Lich King. Lich King almost always dies immediately.
Oh, yeah.
But you don't care. Because you got, like, you ate up whatever their removal was, or some of their creatures, or whatever, and you got a Death Knight card. Hey.
And sometimes you can get one from Stonehill Defender.
Very true. And that feels good. That's like a snap pick no matter what, almost every time. Unless you're facing down lethal next turn.
Yeah.
You're like, ooh, Lich King. But yeah, so many of the Death Knight cards were just awesome. Death Coil was the one that I always hoped for the most. That and Abrupt Decay, the one that dealt 3 to everything on the enemy side. But the Frostmourne was good. And
I felt like I would get the board wipe way more often than I wanted it.
Way more often. The one that removed cards from the top. And I would always get it against fatigue decks. And I'm like, come on! But I think Death Grip is the one that so many times just won you the game.
Yes.
Like, you Death Grip your opponent's Shutterwalk and they just concede! Like, that always felt good. I'm like, oh! Just relatively recently I was playing a game and I stole an Odd Mage's Jan'alai. And I hit go, and there was a pause. And then their hero exploded, and I was like, ah! So, yeah, Death Grip was responsible for a whole lot of accidental insta-wins. But no more Lich King. It's very sad for control decks everywhere. And as a control deck player, it makes me very sad. I can't wait to see what we get to replace the Lich King. Hopefully we get something. And then, no, wrong one. And then finally, Kobolds and Catacombs had a lot of good stuff. Look at this on the first page. Dire Mole.
Yeah.
The other quintessential one-drop that wasn't Firefly. This thing saw play in Hunter, in Rogue, in Mage. And that's just without thinking.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, Dire Mole. And it's a beast.
Yes, it's a beast.
So you go turn 1 Dire Mole, turn 2 Crackling Razor Maw, and your opponent goes, oh!
And get a really good creature.
Yeah, I think the turn 2 4/3 was always my favorite.
Oh, yeah.
Plated Beetle is another card that Control decks would play on their curve if they wanted a 2-drop. Even Lock especially was all about some Plated Beetle.
Mm-hmm.
Scorpomatic was a thing that you could get off of Omega Assembly and completely wreck someone's day.
Oh, yeah.
Fungal Enchanter was huge for the Healy Zoo deck. Lone Champion was big in some control decks that just didn't want to play early drops. This thing, a 2/4 with Divine Shield and Taunt, is nuts for turn 3. Stoneskin Basilisk was huge for Rexar's Hero Power. Void Ripper was really big for a while as a way to finish games and as a way to just kill enemy eggs and things. Zola the Gorgon is massive in decks that want to have this one big threat. Like, my favorite things that I've seen Zola'd are the Priest Quest reward. I can't remember her name. But, you know, the 8/8 that sets your life to 40. You play her and then you Zola. So you have another one to set your life to 40 again later, and that's just demoralizing against enemy against aggro decks especially. Jan'alai is another thing that people are doing these days. Amara, that's her name. Thank you. I've seen people Zola with Shutterwalk to hope to get another Shutterwalk. I've seen people Zola with Tess in case she survived a turn. Get another Tess. So yeah, lots of crazy stuff you could do with Zola. Also, the Uther 2/2 hero power dudes.
Right.
To get extra copies of those to insta-win. Yeah. Cursed Disciple was big for Quest Druid, but Quest Druid never really took off. Shroom Brewer was really big in a variety of Warlock decks, especially because it's even. So even lock decks just loved it because they were hero powering a lot. The Darkness was my favorite thing to get off of things that give you 4-drops.
Darkness.
Arcane Tyrant was massive in Druid and Mage, especially Spiteful decks. But even without the Spiteful, like any deck that played UI almost certainly played Arcane Tyrant. Because it's a free 4/4, so it's just instant tempo. No matter what. Carnivorous Cube is still big in both Hunter and Warlock. There we go. I was like, what's that other thing where they play the thing? And look at it. If you just look at it, it looks like a stupid, silly meme card. But nope, define a meta. Really? Yes. Yes, really. Yeah. Fungalmancer gave aggro decks the ability to just explode. So aggro decks are losing a big tool right here. And he's a big tool, all right. Because 5 mana to get 6/6 stats on the board. 4 of which has charge. Turn your stupid 1/1s into 3/3s at most. Like at least, rather. And that's amazing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Fungalmancer is a big hit for aggro decks. Quarter Creeper was big, especially when it was a 5/5. But it's still played in Odd Paladin decks. And even in still some Shaman decks that are running unstable Evolution are still running Quarter Creeper.
Yes, you're right.
Every
I've
once in
seen
a
that.
while.
Mm-hmm.
Silver Vanguard is played still in what's the Death Rattle Rogue, and occasionally some Hunter decks I still see it in once in a while. Spiteful Summoner was a big thing for a time. Didn't it get nerfed? It used to cost 6, right?
Yes, it did used to cost 6.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it hasn't been as big after the nerf, but it's still a thing that was around for a while. Togwaggle, the big evil druid deck. Thank God it's going away. I'm so sick of Togwaggle. But with Naturalize being moved to the Hall of Fame, even if Togwaggle wasn't going away, it would be way less viable because Togwaggle... Naturalize was one of the things that made that deck go.
Mm-hmm.
Thank goodness. Dragon Hatcher is a big thing with Master Oakheart, or it was for a while. So both of those are going away. And Sleepy Dragon, if you're playing dragons, especially with Dragon Hatcher, I saw Sleepy Dragon a lot.
Oh, yeah. With the Hatcher, yeah.
Yeah. And there you go. So that's the neutral cards that are rotating out of those 3 sets. It's a lot of good stuff. So let's dive into Druid. How about that, Mike? You want to?
Yeah, let's do that.
All right. So Druid isn't losing a lot. Really? Okay, so Earth and Scales is big for the armor Druid, as I call them these days, that wants to... It's bad when you're playing a Druid that gets up to like 50-some life. And you're like, this is an Odd Warrior. Stop that.
Yeah, it represents a lot of life. It's really useful.
Yeah.
We talked about the quest.
Yeah. Living Mana.
Yeah, Living Mana ebbs and flows in popularity. It's a good card.
Depending on how token Druid decks are running,
Mm-hmm.
Living Mana is a thing. I love the Forager just in general. I'll miss him because Beetleberries, my favorite.
It's a fun little card.
I am still on there. Giant Anaconda is a thing in modern Mechathune decks, it turns out.
Oh, wow.
I just found that out recently. And Tarantus is fun off of anything that says Random Beast. That's about it, though. Going to Frozen Throne. Crypt Lord isn't a thing anymore, but it was.
Mm-hmm.
No, well, Spreading Plague is the big one. Spreading Plague going away. Spreading Plague almost defined a good chunk of Druid decks, except for ones running Hadronox.
Right, because you didn't want to get all those spiders,
Yeah.
scarabs clunking up your board.
Because the Scarabs are beasts.
Mm-hmm.
So you didn't want to get...
Well, they have taunt, so you didn't want Hadronox.
I'm sorry, yeah, they
reviving
have
them.
taunt.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, are the Scarabs beasts?
Probably. Why wouldn't they be?
Okay. Well, then you can't get your Hadronox back off of Witching Hour. You might get a Scarab.
Also that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which is the thing I was thinking. He was thinking of taunts in general, which is actually probably better. So, yeah. But Spreading Plague gives Druid the ability to tell an aggro deck, no, stop, and keep stopping. And keep stopping. Because a board full of 1/5s, even for 6 mana, this used to cost 5. This used to cost 5. They nerfed it to 6, and it still defined what Druid could do. So, good riddance to Spreading Plague. Hopefully we'll be able to actually hit Druid again. And since health restored Druid seems to be a thing, I think they know that Druid's losing a lot of the armor and Spreading Plague. And there's Hadronox, who is a big thing. And of course, the other huge one is Ultimate Infestation going away, which is the ultimate reload card. You remember, maybe, when Druid was the defining class, people kept wanting Blizzard to nerf Ultimate Infestation. And I'm proud of me. I was one of the people that kept saying, UI's not the problem, UI is the result.
Yes.
Nerfing this would be the Band-Aid. That's not killing the systemic infection.
Mm-hmm.
But then they changed Wild Growth and Nourish, and people suddenly stopped complaining about Ultimate Infestation so much. Huh. It's weird.
I mean, Ultimate Infestation is a 10 mana spell. It's supposed to do a lot. and it does do a lot. But it was all the other things that let, you know, the class play it on, you know, turn 7, or let the class survive long enough to play Ultimate Infestation that were the real issue behind it.
Yeah. Yeah, Spreading Plague was a problem. Wild Growth and Nourish were problems. Arcane Tyrant always made Ultimate Infestation feel worse than it actually was. Because they got a 5/5, hey, and a free 4/4. And then in Kobolds, it's losing the spells. All the Spellstones are going away too. This is huge, almost across the board. Mm-hmm. But yeah, Spellstone is big. Greedy Sprite was a thing for a little while in some token decks.
I still see it when I'm playing fairly often.
Branching Paths is massive.
Yeah.
Because it's card draw, it's buff your minions, it's armor. It's ridiculous. Oaken Summons hasn't seen a lot of... You notice I never disenchanted any of these just in case. Oaken Summons is going away, and the only time you ever saw Ironwood Golem played was in Oaken Summons decks. So those two are leaving. We talked about the Twig. Astral Tiger was a thing in meme decks that are whatever. The Spellstone, though, gave Druid some really efficient point-and-click removal, especially since... Like, gain 3 armor, gain 6 armor. If you gain 6 armor twice, each one counts separately for this. Mm-hmm. So you automatically have a greater Spellstone that does 1 mana, deal 6. I don't know why they ever thought that was fair, but... So, yeah, that's big. Ixalan never did much. Grizzled Guardian was only in the Astral Tiger meme decks for the most part, so... There you go, that's Druid. Druid's losing... a lot of crazy stuff. If we go into Hunter, Crackling Razor Maw is the big one on this page, I think. The biggest one. That's why people play Dire Mole, and Crackling Razor Maw on anything makes you go, oh, come on, no, don't get, please don't get X. There's always one that would completely wreck you. And about half the time, that's the one they'd get. So, Terror Scale Stalker is another... Death Rattle enabler that also gives you a freaking 3/3. So this thing being gone is big.
Yeah, Jeweled Macaw gives good value.
Sure.
Most of the time.
It was more like So Many Beasts. It was way better off of Rexar's Hero Power as a beast that did a thing and gave you another card than it was as a standalone, at least for a good long while. I guess when rotation first happened, Jeweled Macaw was actually all over the place. Mm-hmm. Because we didn't have some of the later cards we'll get to. Marsh Queen. Tolver Warden was a thing in certain silly decks. And Swamp King Dread is actually pretty big. Because he's a 9/9 for 7 and he just killed things. But I actually ran into one not long ago in a Recruit Beast deck and I went...
Oh.
Because I suddenly looked at my handful of beasts and went, I can't, So, yeah. He's still around here and there, but was never terribly meta. In Frozen Throne, we got Play Dead, which was ginormous. Mm-hmm. Venom Strike Trap, which is less ginormous, but still very important.
I also thought that was a classic card for some reason.
Yeah, what's the classic? Snake Trap is the classic one.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Bear Shark, which is the very definition of value mid-range dude. Stitch Tracker going away enabled a lot of weird things like getting more Devilstar eggs. Mm-hmm. Or getting another copy of King Crush. Bloat Bat was huge, massive off of Rexar's Hero Power.
Yeah, really. Ugh.
Many games were won by luck stacking into Bloat Bat and the Poisonous Rush guy. And we already talked about Rexar. Okay. Kobolds.
Candle Shot.
Candle Shot, Wandering Monster, Flanking Strike, Spellstone. Those 4 cards going away is a huge blow for Hunter. Huge. Candle Shot just gives a ridiculous amount of value and removal when you can just deal 1 damage to things for free without taking any face damage. Wandering Monster is probably the best secret Hunter has right now, if not ever. Flanking Strike is just nuts.
Mm-hmm.
And Emerald Spellstone, it's always 4 wolves. Always. And then To My Side, when Spell Hunter was a thing, To My Side was one of the 2 reasons to play it. And it was really good. I love when it was revealed. People were like, that sucks. And I'm like, you're stupid. And I was right. Crushing Walls was actually a one-of in some of those Spell Hunter decks.
Uh-huh.
Especially once Zul'jin came along.
Yes.
Seeping Oozling was actually a thing for a little while. Cave Hydra was huge off of Rexar as well.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Rok'Talar was the other reason to play the Spell Hunter deck. And then Kathrena. Oh, this hurts. Kathrena, my girl.
Yeah, I know. That's one of your favorites.
Getting out the King Crush or the Charged Devilsaur or the stupid 312. Oh, all of that is just... Oh, mwah. I love her to death. But she's gone now, so screw her. So there you go. Hunter is losing, like I said, a lot of stuff. And you'll notice a lot of those came from the last set. Like, this is the Hunter identity right now. It's Candle Shot, Wandering Monster, Flanking Strike, Spellstone. Kathrena, that's... All of those are in the decks that are played right now.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Those are big hits.
Mage.
Ooh,
Arcanologist.
Arcanologist was really big for a long time.
Uh-huh.
Not so much anymore. Primordial Glyph was really big for a long time, especially in the days of Quest.
Especially Quest, right.
Pyros was big in the elemental decks, and also the ones that played Mountain Giant, because it gave you a card back. Shimmering Tempest, Mana Bind, these were all cards that were in Open the Waygate. Molten Reflection was a massive piece of the Waygate and combo decks.
Mm-hmm.
Meteor is huge. Meteor is a giant point-and-click removal. That thing is definitely dead, and probably some other things are dead too from the splash damage. Like, Meteor was a reason to think about where you put minions when you're playing against the mage. You're like, wait, if I put that there, I'm going to die. I'm get wiped by Meteor. So if I put this here, now Meteor only sucks. It doesn't insta-win. Awesome. This is where Firefly was very important.
Yes.
In spacing things out for Meteor. In Frozen Throne, Mage didn't get terribly much, actually. Simulacrum was, again, big in the combo decks.
Yeah.
To get more copies of Sorcerer's Apprentice. And Jaina. And Syndragosa was a finisher that... Okay, Syndragosa is actually kind of a big loss. An 8/8 for 8 that gave you 2 legendaries.
Yeah.
And a good chunk of the time, a water elemental.
I haven't seen Syndragosa in a while since Odd Mage has been so popular, but...
Yeah, that's true. But... Still pretty big. And then
we got to
Kobolds.
mention in the chat, Glacial Mystery is the one spell you hated to get off a random spell, LOL. I got Glacial Mystery so many times, it's infuriating.
That is true, yeah. Arcane Artificer being lost is pretty big because it gave... Not as big as it once was, since the big spell mage seems to have fallen off not a lot, not all the way, but a good amount. But Artificer into Flame Strike always made me go, oh, come on! Explosive Runes is ubiquitous now in Mage.
Right.
Deck of Wonders was great for the memes. And Dragon's Fury...
It's critical for the big spell deck.
Yeah, it's a big board sweeper that is now gone, or will be. And then Dragon Caller Alana was the main finisher for the big spell mages. So losing her kind of sucks. Aluneth has fallen off recently, but Aluneth was huge in those aggressive mage decks for a good long while.
Yeah, those were scary.
Yeah, they were. Like, if they got an Aluneth, you had to... like, look at their library and look at your life total and go, Can I win this race? Because Eleneth will kill them. But they'll probably kill you first. Probably. So that's it for Mage. Mage is losing some key cards, but not as many of them. Oops. Alright. Paladin. This is big. Lost in the Jungle is key for Odd Mage.
Paladin.
Paladin. What did I say?
Odd Mage.
Odd Mage Paladin. Odd Mage Paladin. Hydrologist has been seeing play ever since it was printed.
Oh yeah, it's a good card.
Because it's a good card, yeah. The Stegodon was big in even Paladin when it was a thing. Spike Ridge Steed is the go-to card for all control-oriented Paladins forever and ever. So this sucks to lose this. I love this card. Sunkeeper Tarim. I don't even know about Sunkeeper Tarim these days, except I know when I managed to get him in other classes, it wrecks things.
Uh-huh.
You remember that?
Yeah. And sometimes you get it off a Stonehill Defender.
Yeah. A lot of times, it seems. When you're playing a Paladin.
Uh-huh.
Vine Cleaver is another big one. It allows the big 4 damage to the face and get 2 more dudes. So Vine Cleaver is also huge for the Odd Paladin. And Dino Size was actually a finisher in control Paladins for a little while. At least it was in mine.
Mm-hmm.
Going to Frozen Throne. Righteous Protector is massive. Righteous Protector is always in Paladin unless they're even. Always. Always, always, always. Not much else here. Like, Chillblade Champion was a thing in some of the more control-y and mid-rangey Paladins back in the day.
And in the previous standard season where the hand buff stuff still existed.
Right, that's true. But nothing much else there. And we talked about Uther Blackguard. It's a shame the Blackguard's going away because it looks like Healy Paladin is going to get some buffs. Well, it did get some buffs in the last set. But, oh well. And then in Kobolds, Drygulch Jailer was only a thing when even Paladin was terrifying. Potion of Heroism is another big thing in the Control Paladins.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Unidentified Maul was big in aggro decks. Still is in Odd Paladin.
Mm-hmm.
Call to Arms was an aggro card when it cost 4 and was an even Paladin. But nowadays, it's a card that's value oriented for Control Paladin.
Yeah, because in Odd Paladin now it can only get 1 drops.
Yeah.
So what's the point?
Yeah, so these days it gets like Pyromancers and the Righteous Defender and something else I'm probably missing that's obvious.
Mm-hmm.
Level Up is going away. But Level Up hasn't mattered since it was nerfed. Valinir is going away. Linessa was another big thing. This was the point of several decks that started off as Mimi Nonsense decks, but then it suddenly became a thing that people played on purpose.
Uh-huh.
Probably because of the Deathmark Prelate.
Probably.
That gave those kinds of control decks that extra reach to just get there. Because unless they have a polymorph or something, you're gonna keep drawing the Deathmark Prelate every single game, and every turn until they kill it. So in those games or in those decks, you want to play Linessa anyway, because she's just super value, especially when you're drawing cards off of Potion of Heroism and getting Spike Ridge Steeds for free. Oops. So that's what Paladin's losing. Aggro and Control Paladin both just got hit right in the face. How about Priest? Priest is losing some good stuff. Of course, we've got the quest.
Yeah.
We've got the Crystal Oracle for the quests. You've got Radiant Elemental is huge because it made all the things cheaper, which lets you do more things in conjunction with Lyra.
Mm-hmm.
Lyra on the board with a Radiant Elemental meant they were just casting spells until they found what they wanted, essentially.
Basically.
Shadow Visions is another huge one that's going away. Shadow Visions lets you find extra copies of board clears or win conditions, or that was pretty much the two big ones. You find an extra Psychic Scream, or you find extra Mind Blast. Like,
yeah, or you find the extra Divine Spirit,
or the Inner Fire that you need that you haven't drawn yet. Yeah. So yeah, this going away is big. The Glimmer Root was a thing for a little while because it's just value in control-y decks. Shell Razor was good for a little while, especially in quest decks, but even in not quest decks, it would show up every once in a while. Yeah. And then Free from Amber was a finisher for a good while, because that's really good.
You get a lot of good stuff with it.
Yeah. So how about Frozen Throne? Frozen Throne, Spirit Lash is massive anti-aggro tool in two ways. You know, it clears off their 1/1s, and it has lifesteal. And if you're playing Thalnos, it did so much more. That it became 4 mana. Make your aggro deck rage quit. Eternal Servitude is an entire archetype that is going away. Less important than the Spellstone, but still important.
And a very important part of the deck.
Yeah. Shadow Essence is also a part of the Cloning Gallery decks some of the time. Benedictus was big against fatigue decks, and was even teched in against some like weird like Togwaggle decks.
Huh.
Yeah, I saw someone Togwaggle with an empty library and trade, and the priest just cast Benedictus and went, okay. But he's going away. We talked about Anduin, and Obsidian Statue has got to be one of the most frustrating cards ever to play against. And I love it.
Because it could be revived by various things. You could get it off of Free from Amber.
Yep.
It was just...
You could get it off of Cloning Gallery.
Yes.
And they have to kill it because it's a 1/1, and then you Eternal Servitude it. Yeah. Like, the Eternal Servitude Obsidian Statue thing, along with Ragnaros, was a deck in Standard for a while, and still is in Wild. And I loved it. Loved it! And then in Kobolds and Catacombs, we're losing Gilded Gargoyle, which gives coins that enables some of the Mind Blast decks to do busted things. Twilight Acolyte, turning something into 2 so you can steal it with Cabal Shadow Priest.
Yeah. Make target creature stupid.
Yeah. But I've stolen Lich Kings. I've stolen Ragnaroses. Like, oh, Gentle, I gave you a Ragnaros? That's mine. You could just steal all the things with Twilight Acolyte, and it's glorious. Twilight's Call was big in Death Rattle decks. Duskbreaker is Priest's go-to board clear these days. And it's gone.
That's one of the defining cards for the class over the past year.
Oh, totally, yeah. And the Spellstone is the big one that enables so many stupid decks. Right now, it's most notably the Wall Priest and the Gallery Priest. And it's going away. And as much as I loved that deck when it was get lots of big stupid dudes for free and then win, now that it's get lots of stupid dudes and win with a combo, I hate this card. I'm glad it's leaving. And then Psychic Scream is the go-to board clear for real. Like when you absolutely have to not die, Psychic Scream never fails. It doesn't trigger any death rattles. Nothing. It could potentially screw up your opponent's draws later, especially if they had, like, Silverhand recruits.
Yeah.
There's nothing worse than drawing a Silverhand recruit and like, ah. So yeah, Priest is losing a lot of its identity too, especially in combo and control, because it's Priest. That's really what all a Priest does. Oh, and Temporis for the lulz. Rogue is oddly not losing a whole hell of a lot. Hallucination enables helps enable some of the Spectral Cutlass decks.
Yeah.
That's gonna hurt. The Stupid Quest has been nerfed twice and is still occasionally seeing play, believe it or not. Inventive Weapon was whatever. Mimic Pod is whatever.
Mimic Pod's a good card.
Razor Petal Volley was seeing some play in decks with the Auctioneer for a little while. But this is the big one. Journey to Angora. Yeah, it's the Vilespine Slayer for sure. Because it gave Rogue an easy answer. This is tempo out the wazoo. It's destroy a minion and get a 3/4 for... What does Assassinate cost?
Assassinate costs 5.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is nuts.
It still gets me. It still gets me even now. It comes down and kills my guy, and I'm like, come on! Why?
Oh, yeah. Razor Petal Volley was also in the Malagos Rogue deck. Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
I blocked that from memory. In Frozen Throne, it's losing Leeching Poison, which hasn't mattered since the nerf. Shadowblade is just a good, efficient weapon that's seeing some play in some of the Rogue decks at the moment. And that's it in this set. Like, Lillian Voss was cute for a minute.
Doomerang only mattered when
Kingsbane was a thing.
Kingsbane was still viable.
Spectral Pillager only mattered in some Tavern Brawls.
That's true.
And Kobolds were losing the Cavern Shiny Finder, which was big with Kingsbane and is still big with Spectral Cutlass.
Yeah, that'll make the Cutlass much more difficult to capitalize on.
We're losing all the Rogue secrets, which I completely forgot Rogue didn't have any more secrets yet. But Cheat Death Evasion and Sudden Betrayal are just gone. Sonya Shadow Dancer was really big in the Quest deck and in a couple of value decks here and there, but mostly in Quest Rogue. Elven Minstrel and Felderai Strider. The Minstrel especially goes in damn near every deck.
Yeah, they keep coming back to do more and different stuff. It's really impressive.
Like, you just want to have your Minstrels to draw more minions from your deck. You just want to. And the Felderai Strider, especially with the Minstrel, Felderai Strider gave you occasional 4/4s that were just great. Plus, it's a 4/4 for 4, which is, while not busted, is good in Rogue especially. And the Minstrel drew more minions out of your deck so that you had a better chance of getting your spiders. So yeah, Minstrel drew your Vile Spines, it drew your other Striders, it drew your stupid Shadow Dancer.
Right. It
drew your Shiny Finder so you could find your Spectral Cutlass or your Kingsbane.
Yeah, it was key for that. It would show up in... it was important for some Quest decks. People are using it now for the espionage decks to go get the ridiculous 1-drops you just shuffled in.
That is my favorite thing to do with it. It's in Pirate Rogue to go get your pirates that Raiding Party didn't find, although I think most of the time they're not playing this, they're playing Raiding Party instead, so just never mind, I think ignore that. And then Kobold Illusionist is actually huge in the Death Rattle Rogues that I still see occasionally and never know what they're trying to do. I'm like, wait, you played an Illusionist, what are you? And then out pops a 1/1 Silver Vanguard or a 1/1 the mech that makes 7/7s when it dies, and I'm like, oh.
Sometimes the Malagos jumps out.
And sometimes the Malagos jumps out, and I go, ah! And then the Rogue Spellstone never saw much play.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
And I think it's because it takes so many Death Rattles to upgrade it.
That's a lot, 3 for each step.
Yeah, and I think if it was 2, though, it would be too good. Maybe. Doesn't matter, though. It's rotating. So yeah, Rogue is, of course, not losing a whole hell of a lot because Rogue's basic and classic cards are just so good that these are sort of just the gravy on top. Like, they're the basic and classic cards in Rogue are the glue that holds everything together, and these are just the incidental whatever win conditions. So yeah, between the basic and classic cards and freaking gadgets and Auctioneer, Rogue just needs a few other things and they're good to go. So let's go look at Shaman. Shaman has had a lot of the elemental stuff. Like the Fire Plume Harbinger is big right now again, since there's this Elemental Shaman deck running around. The Primal Fin Totem is huge in the aggressive decks, because it just gives you a 1/1 every turn, or it forces them to deal with a stupid 0/3. And you don't want to use removal, like a swipe on a 0/3.
This 0/3? Yeah.
But sometimes you just gotta. Tidal Surge, especially with Hagatha, Tidal Surge was big. Because you didn't necessarily want to play Tidal Surge, but if you got one, it was like, yeah, I'll kill a thing and gain some life.
I would play Tidal Surge.
Well, yeah, but that's you, though.
Yeah, I forgot that part.
Yeah. Volcano is Shaman's big go-to board clear. Nope, not anymore. And then Kalamos is one of the reasons to play Elemental Shaman, besides Blaze Color.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not anymore. Sorry, buddy. He's really good, too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. In Frozen Throne, so hey, good thing about this rotation, you won't get ice fishing off of Hagatha anymore. Yeah, there's not a whole lot going on here. Overload decks loved the Jakar Defender.
Oh, yeah.
But the Frozen thing never happened.
No. I mean, I even got the Legendary who copies minions when they get frozen, and I'm like, no, I'm not going to.
Yeah.
Even I was like, no, I'm not going to bother.
Yeah, Murabi. But then the Snowfury Giant was usually in the same deck that played the Drakar Defender. It's because you wanted to get cheap Snowfury Giants. And sometimes you wanted to Spellstone it. I know Kibler played that for a while. I played it for a little while. I never could make it work, though. But doesn't matter now, it's going away. Unstable Evolution and Healing Rain are huge.
Yeah.
This because it's just good. And Healing Rain, you played it in your deck and you got it off of Hagatha and you were always excited. Because 12 health is so much health, Mike. It's so much. Especially when you've got like a taunt. Like you've got a Lich King and you hit something and kill it with the Lich King. And then you heal him back up to full and gain some life yourself. Ha 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 ha. And you're like...
Oh, yeah. The plays where I was able to heal my team with Healing Rain instead of just myself just made me feel like a genius.
Yeah.
Because it was so good.
And especially once they get that 4th Healing Rain off of Hagatha,
oh, yeah.
you just want to just reach through the internet and throttle them. An Unstable Evolution made playing stupid cards worth it. Like Quarter Creeper. Once it was nerfed to 2/5, this is the only reason to play it, really. Unless you're playing Odd Paladin, where lots of things die, and it's a free 2/5. Hey. Crushing Hand, again, not a card people put in decks itself, but it popped out of Hagatha, and you were always happy to be able to kill a thing. Murmuring Elemental was huge in the combo Shudderwalk decks for a while.
Yeah, the one-turn kill version.
What was that? Pinball Witch through 10 bits. F for my favorite casual deck. I mean, Elemental Shaman's not even casual anymore. It's a freaking, like, full-on meta deck these days. I almost built one, and then I realized that I don't have Grumble, and that rotation's about to happen, so meh. Grumble, though, is huge both in the old Shudderwalk decks, because you would play Grumble so that later Shudderwalk would make copies of itself and Grumble those, so you had a never-ending supply of Shudderwalks. And it was miserable, but these days he's doing more of what he's designed for, and that's value. You get more uses off of your Fire Plume Harbinger, and more uses off of your Blaze Callers. And stuff like that.
Kalamos.
Yeah. So Grumble is an amazing value engine. But I never opened one and never got the urge to actually make one. The Spellstone goes with the Overload decks. I think is the only time that the Spellstone was ever played in any remotely seriously fashion. Oh, and that's it. So yeah. Shaman's losing a lot of stuff that makes Shaman good.
Yeah.
Whoops. Most notably these two. These two are the big ones.
Yeah, and the Volcano.
And the Volcano, yeah. Oh well. So how about the Warlock? Warlock, I'm not gonna lie, Warlock's not losing much in this first set. The quest is whatever. Clutch Mother goes with the quest. The Pterodax saw some play in early Zoo decks for a minute. Corrupting Mist, no one ever cared really. Lakari Fellhound again is only seen in the quest decks these days.
Mm-hmm.
Tar Lurker you would sometimes get off of the Stonehill Defender, and that's about the only time you were ever happy to have it. I was playing a deck that Zalay made, the Zalaylock, with the Cruel Dynamancer. Early versions of the Zalaylock had Cruel Dynamancer, which was pretty cool. But it didn't stay in the deck very long. Frozen Throne is where the big stuff comes from. Defile. The defining Warlock removal spell along with Hellfire. Gnome Feratu is like Death Grip. It was a 2-mana 2/3, which is fine.
Mm-hmm.
That occasionally won you the game on the spot. And that was the reason to play it, is because sometimes you just win.
Yeah, with the way Hearthstone decks are built. Yeah, it's not the same as just a random mill card in Magic would be. It's like sometimes you just, like you said, sometimes you just win. Sometimes you just, one card will damage the composition of their deck that much.
Yep, like you mill away their Shutterwalk, or their Jan'alai, or their, I don't know.
Or the other copy of the removal spell that they would need to come back.
Yeah. Or even some things like, I milled away a Play Dead once and had a dude concede, and I went, really?
Gosh.
Okay, I guess, I don't think that's because I wrecked his plan. I think he was just pissed. But yeah, there are lots of like single cards in decks that if you mill them away, it cripples a deck so bad that it just doesn't matter anymore. Halfiend Treachery is a silly combo. Lanethel still only mattered in the quest decks. Despicable Dreadlord is a big one, because this guy is a Chillwind Yeti that constantly damages the other side of the board, which is great against aggro decks. It's still pretty good against basically all the decks. Yeah. And of course we talked about Gul'dan already. And then in Kobolds, losing a lot of powerful stuff here. Dark Pact was bigger when it was 8 health. Kobold Librarian is in almost every Warlock deck that isn't an even lock right now.
Yeah.
Because that's just amazing. It's in Zoo. It's in Cube Lock. Yeah. Vulgar Homunculus was a key player in the even lock decks. Cataclysm is the how you win with Mecha'thun. Hooked Reaver was massive in even lock decks. The Spellstone is borderline broken.
Oh, the Spellstone.
Because once it upgrades, it's what, 7?
The top level, yeah.
Yeah, it goes from 3 to 5 to 7.
It goes 3, 5, 7.
Yeah.
The mid level is really good.
Yeah. Skull of the Minari, we talked about already. It's insane. Possessed Lackey gets those cheap Doom Guards and the cheap Void Lords. And then the big one, Void Lord itself is leaving. The granddaddy of all demons that you want to get back with Gul'dan. And of course, Ren was in control matchups especially. Ren was a lot of fun because you could just get a 10-10, blow up their library. And if you were playing the Skull, you just got a free 10-10.
Oh, yeah.
Nice. So, yeah, all manner of Warlock is losing something from aggro to combo to control. It's all going away. Warlock is going to have to start over, essentially. And then if we go to Warrior, quest is not huge, but pretty big.
Yeah, pretty important still.
The Direhorn Hatchling was big in fatigue decks and in quest decks, of course, because it gave you the other taunt. Exploring Goro from the memes. Sudden Genesis for the goofy combos.
Yes.
King Mosh was one of those big dinosaurs that you always wanted to see. Never really did. Tarlord you got off of Stonehill Defender.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, not much else going on here. Frozen Throne, Dead Man's Hand has recently fallen out of fate. Well, was only in favor for a little while, and that was usually an infinite looping combo nonsense. Blood Razor is huge.
Yeah. It was basically the return of, from Noxramas. Why am I blanking
I
on
can
this?
see the card.
You all know what we're talking about.
Deathbite.
There we go.
It's like I can see the art. It's the big-ass axe. But yeah, Blood Razor is anti-aggro, and it enables a bunch of just silly warrior stuff. It also turned on things like Execute.
Yes.
So yeah, Blood Razor is a big loss. Rotface was for the memes.
Oh man, I love Rotface.
See? Kibler loves Rotface. And then Kobolds were losing the Dry Whisker Armorer, which was key in some decks for a while. Reckless Flurry's big, because it was a way to put all that armor to use.
Mm-hmm.
Gather Your Party was okay in early recruit decks. Gem-Studded Golem is still occasionally a thing you put in taunt decks.
Yeah, it's alright.
The Shield and the Spellstone and whatever. Yip and Wokley. Yeah, not much going on here. Yip
was a thing.
Yip was a thing, yeah, for a little while. Because he's pretty funny. But that's about it.
It's not a ton.
Yeah, Warrior... Like, the things Warrior is losing hurt. Reckless Flurry, the Blood Razor.
Flurry, really. And yeah.
But... Yeah, most of the Warrior stuff... Oh, and the Hatchling. But most of the Warrior stuff comes from the current year.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So Warrior's not taking a huge hit. It's just going to have to shift things up a little bit. So... Yeah, to recap... What's taking the biggest hit? Druid's losing Ultimate Infestation, Branching Paths, and Spreading Plague. That's massive. Hunter's losing freaking everything.
Yeah.
Mage is losing...
Explosive Runes.
Yeah, a bunch of stuff that's just really good. Point and click removal and Meteor and secrets and board clears. It's losing a little bit of everything. Paladin is losing... All Paladin decks are losing everything. Yeah. Priest decks have to start from scratch because losing both...
Yeah, the decks just don't exist anymore.
Yeah, losing the Death Knight and Shadow Visions and Lyra, yeah.
And the Spellstone.
And the Spellstone, yeah, all of that's just going away. Rogue is losing some of, like, the Minstrel and the Strider are the two, and the Vilespine Slayer are the big ones. But it's not losing anything rogue defining. It's just losing tools out of its toolbox.
Right.
Shaman's losing all of the elemental stuff, and Volcano, and Unstable Evolution. Warlock's losing Defile.
Yeah, Warlock's losing
And
all its
Void
decks,
Lord.
and it's also losing the even.
Yeah.
It's also losing the even reward. So.
Yeah, Warlock's losing something from essentially every deck. And then Warrior... Oh, yeah, because Warlock's also losing the Healy Zoo.
Right.
Which is the primary
Yeah, there was a lot
deck.
of stuff in neutral that was important for that.
And then Warrior's not losing a whole lot. And yeah, the big things, though, are the 3-mana taunts. That's just going to completely change the meta.
Yeah, and the neutral elemental rewards. Blaze Color.
Yeah.
Keleseth.
And the Keleseth is huge. The Devilsar for Hunter. And the Lich King is the main huge one that everyone's losing.
Yeah. And let's recap about even odd stuff again. So the odd Paladin deck doesn't...
Yeah, so remember...
The even odd decks just don't exist anymore.
Yeah, like we said, Gen and Baku are getting Hall of Famed a year early because they warped the standard format way too hard, so they're just getting rid of it.
And they're certain to just continue to do that through the next year if they were left alone.
Yeah. So, yeah,
So Odd Rogue, Odd
Okay,
Mage.
wait a minute, hang on. So, I've seen both Even Hunter and Odd Hunter lately, but not in any numbers. But I've
Really?
seen them both, and I'm like, what? Odd Mage is going away, which means Jan'alai gets worse. Although you still have the
totem helps a little bit. Totem and the daring fire.
Yeah, you
eater.
still have the daring fire eater, and the totem might start seeing play, just to get 3 more or 2 extra damage on each one. Odd and even paladin, both of which still sort of exist, are going away. Nope. There we go. Odd and even priest was never really a thing. Odd rogue hasn't been a thing for a little while, but it's going away. Even shaman hasn't been a thing since the last round of nerfs, but it's going away. Even warlock is going away, which hurts a lot because I think it's my favorite deck from the last year. And odd warrior, both quest and not, are going away. Both of which kind of hurt because I enjoy those decks.
Yeah.
So that's what? 1, 2, 3, 4 decks that are heavy in the current meta that are just without losing, like just because of Gin and Baku, not because of all the other stuff.
Right.
So yeah.
So things will look a lot different.
It's true. But that's that's been our excessively long look at what's leaving Hearthstone Standard when the Year of the Mammoth rotates out. So I'm looking forward to it. Not even looking at the new cards that are coming in, which look pretty sweet, but looking at how much like just ubiquitous stuff is leaving. I can't wait to get in there with a bunch of these old tools that are gone now to try to figure out what to do now. Standard's going to be crazy for a good couple of weeks, and I am excited. So anything else to say to wrap it up, Mike?
No, nothing that you didn't just cover there with that last thought.
My bad. Well, then with that, I'm Chewie. He's been Mike. And he will continue to be Mike, it turns out.
Yes. I'm very grateful for that.
Despite my best efforts. Thank you all so very much for watching, and enjoy the Year of the Dragon.